important reminder for us to be practical and real in our deliberations over the next 2.5 days. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Minister of Trade, Industry, Commerce Affairs, Sports, Culture, and National Festivals, the Honorable E.P. Chet Green.
Thank you, moderator. I'm challenged. We heard it not from the script, but from the heart. And the effect of a heart-to-heart is always such it outweighs anything you write thereafter. But I think as a matter of protocol and a matter of course, I have to fulfill my obligations here this morning. And I'm sure the moderator himself, an ambassador in the Prime Minister's office, would not relent in reporting me to the Prime Minister if I sat and did not speak. Honourable Mrs. Catherine Hughes, Minister responsible for post in the government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Mr. Joseph Cox, Assistant Secretary General, Trade and Economic Integration in the CARICOM Secretariat, my own PS, Ms. Sandra Joseph, in the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, PS Paula Hunt, in the Ministry of Investment and Tourism, His Excellency Ambassador Clarence Henry, or Ambassador CARICOM, Ambassador Liverpool, who serves as our moderator, representatives of the European Union and of the Caribbean Export Development Agency, Ms. Desiree Field Ridley, Advisor, the Single Market and Sectoral Programs in the CARICOM Secretariat, members of the Diplomatic Corps, staff at the CARICOM Secretariat, visiting delegates. I apologize for your challenge with the IT platform at this hotel, officials from the government of Antigua and Barbuda, ladies and gentlemen, before the internet, we were. And so I bid you a warm Antigua and Barbuda welcome. Just over 7 years ago, the former Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, who served then as the lead head of government in the CARICOM quasi-cabinet with responsibility for services, the Honourable Baldwin Spencer, proposed and won the support of his colleague heads of government to convene a regional symposium on services to develop a regional policy and strategy for the further development of the services sector. The context then was a deepening of the CARICOM single economy, which sought to expand the investment, employment, production, and trade opportunities in services within and throughout the community. The symposium initiated a regional dialogue among both public and private sectors, and, as we have heard earlier, as a matter of course, Caribbean academia. It resulted in 9 recommended core elements of a regional strategy for services, along with proposals for these elements. The symposium also set a plan in action whereby the community identified 7 subsectors to which priority attention was given in preparing detailed strategies and implementation plans. The national and regional administrative arrangements were also put in place to oversee the preparation of these strategies and implementation plans. The global environment, I'm sure you'll agree with me, has since changed drastically. The international financial sector or system all but collapsed. A world recession ensued, and the after effects still linger, especially in our small, open, vulnerable economies of this region. The advanced economies of the world have been taking measures which are frustrating our economic survival, social growth, and development, as opposed to fostering them. And that reality today makes this symposium all the more important. New informal centers of influence have also emerged, which by their very pronouncements significantly serve to change the investment attractiveness and opportunities in our island economies. I refer to the measures such as the blacklisting of our states as tax havens and de-risking our financial institutions. I refer also to the numerous downgrades by entities such as Standard & Poor. These actions have the real potential to take us back to the pre-independence era, where every aspect of our livelihood was determined by persons in foreign capitals thousands of miles away. We as a Caribbean people cannot and must not allow this to happen. You're gathered here today not merely as professionals, not merely as technicians, but a group entrusted with the very survival, not only development of, but survival of our region, in this instance, the services sector. We must as a people take greater control of the factors which determine our standard of living, our future, our daily lives, our very survival and existence. We must take that responsibility and take it seriously. Mr. Moderator, I will at this stage pause just to ensure that those here assembled understand the gravity of the situation and embrace the call, the clarion call to duty. As a departure from typical protocols, I will allow for anybody here today who is not satisfied or committed to this process to take leave. The fact that you all remain seated tells me that you're not only here to represent island states, but we're here with a solemn commitment to the region. We're here understanding the complexities, the challenges, and therefore committed to workable and working solutions. The services sector, Mr. Moderator, is the engine through which we can achieve this. The services sector continues to be the largest sector of the regional CARIFORUM economy. It accounts for more than 75% of employment, 60% of output, has been the largest recipient of foreign investment, and generated a persistent trade surplus. In my own country, Antigua and Barbuda, your host Caribbean country, Antigua and Barbuda, the services sector accounts for in excess of 80% of our GDP. And I'm sure it is not very dissimilar across the region, especially the OECS. Today, CARICOM citizens hearing of this symposium will be fair to wonder, quizzically, what is the difference between this symposium and the last one? I can tell them there's a difference. A challenge was thrown out for anyone who's not committed to leave, and that you all stayed in your seats. That's the first difference. I can categorically say to CARICOM citizens that all CARIFORUM states are now participating in this exercise. We have the Bahamas and the DR on board. We have a more functional engagement with Haiti. And I speak of Haiti. I'll ask us once again, coming to the audience, making sure that we have this little understanding that we're together. Ask you that you, for a moment, recognize a moment of silence for our brothers and sisters in Haiti who lost their lives in the passage of Hurricane Matthew. Allow me also to extend very special, warm Antigua, CARICOM, Caribbean greetings and welcome to Antigua to the participants from Haiti. I note and record the dedication to this regional effort. As we speak of the natural disasters that affect our region, which also affect the services sector, let me also ask that we remember and give support to our brothers and sisters in the Bahamas, Jamaica, Barbados, St. Vincent and St. Lucia, who are all in the cleanup and restorative mode after the passage of the storm. Thirdly, moderator, we have had a dedicated international development partner, the EU, which has provided much needed financial support to develop the strategies and implementation plans. Commendations and appreciations are in order. Fourthly, and more fundamentally, we have moved from the concept stage of 2009 to the actual development and detailed draft strategies and implementation plans which are to be considered during the symposium. I'm advised that the following draft strategies, or strategic and implementation plans, are completed and ready for scrutiny by stakeholders. They are namely the professional services, the ICT services, the health and wellness services, and the cultural and entertainment services. I'm also advised that in the area of professional services, more detailed work has been done on the strategic registration of professionals in both CARICOM and the wider CARIFORM areas. Of special note is the work that has been done by the communications sector on postal services. In this area, Haiti has been targeted as a direct beneficiary country. The plan to assist that government in identifying its universal service obligations to citizens under the UN Charter as outlined by the Universal Postal Union. While this initiative advances the reform of the postal sector, it will also lead to more than 8 million persons having access to new services, including banking and internet services. In this regard, I wish to thank Minister Catherine Hughes of Guyana for agreeing to oversee this work on behalf of our ministerial colleagues of the Caribbean Postal Union. Even more important, I wish to thank her for taking on the responsibility of getting the support of her ministerial colleague in Haiti so that the recommendations of this project are taken on board and implemented. Permit me, moderator, to flag a few thoughts on some of the sectors. In the first place, professional services. There are over 5 million students passing through our education systems, both secondary and education levels, and secondary and tertiary education levels, who will be looking for work in the near future. While some may be absorbed in the labor market as employed persons, the vast majority must be self-employed. The professionalization of the workforce is therefore necessary and critical to our future economic development. I therefore welcome the work that has been done on the draft regional strategy and implementation plan for this sector or subsector. I note the participation of our youth ambassadors and look forward to receiving the inputs in this strategy. I want to say to the youth ambassador, this is no longer a case of you being tomorrow's leaders. It is today. Your presence here is indicative of the new paradigm shift. We don't speak about youth about tomorrow any longer. Our youth are called upon to lead the charge. The Bible itself speaks about youth and what's expected of youth. For the ICT sector, or services, not only must there be a robust discussion on the price of our telecommunication services and the related broadband rates and access, there must also be a plan where we move from being simple and simply consumers to becoming innovators and producers of ICT services, especially high-ended, value-added services. Mediocrity goes through the door. Caribbean excellence must shine through. And I invite all of you here today to embrace our 35th Independence Anniversary theme, building an economic powerhouse. I say I invite you to embrace it because, as was said before by the previous speaker, alone we can go fast, but together we go far. And so the value of us working together, sharing a vision of making this region economically sound, is part of the mission that we must embrace, part of the vision, the purpose for which we gather here. In addition, because IT sees a service on its own and also an enabler of other services, a good, sound, practical regional strategy must lead to stronger cross-sector linkages, especially with banking and education. It is also urgent that the work on creating a single ICT space for both CARICOM and CARIFORUM be completed. With respect to the health and wellness services, new innovative ways for financing healthcare must be devised to ensure that good quality and effective healthcare is universally accessible to all our citizens. Again, I welcome and look forward to proposals in this draft regional strategy for health and wellness and the deliberations over the next 3 days. In the area of the cultural and entertainment sectors or services, I see my very good friend from Dominica, who I know very personally, and the passion he has for the sector. But the evidence is overwhelming that this sector offers vast opportunities in employment, trade, and foreign exchange earnings. I look forward to receiving your recommendations on the incentives regime and the financing mechanisms for this sector. Other components of this work have recently started, but not yet reached a stage at which they can be considered at this meeting. These include the strengthening of the statistical infrastructure for trade and services, the preparation of regional strategy and implementation plans for financial services, educational services, and sporting services, and the diagnostic study on the national accounts for tourism services and tourism satellite accounts. I look forward to receiving the draft strategies, implementation plans, and studies when those are completed. Mr. Moderator, we have many challenges both internal and external, administrative and technical, political and cultural. We've encountered those in preparing the draft and implementation plans. I therefore wish to thank the Secretary General and the staff at CARICOM Secretariat, the Director General and staff at the OECS Commission, the Executive Director and staff at the Caribbean Export Development Agency, Executive Director and staff at the CTO, Director and staff at the DCOEX of the Ministry of Industry and Commerce and the Government of the DOMREP, the national focal point persons in each member state, the many private sector stakeholders who responded to the questionnaires and participated in the national and regional consultations. As I did before, I once again, for the record and for emphasis, wish to thank the EU for providing the financial resources to execute this project. It was a massive, complex, but I dare say rewarding experience. Let us set some targets for investment, for employment, output and trade in these 7 priority sectors over the next 3 days. Over the next 3 days, let us identify how we're going to measure and monitor our progress towards these targets. Delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot help but remind us that Antigua and Barbuda is birthplace for regional initiatives. In 1965, December 15th, Carifta started right here in the city. In 2009, the concepts relating to this very symposium and the strategy for services incubate in Antigua and Barbuda. Let us therefore be true going forward over the next 3 days as we deliberate and recommend robust strategies and implementation plans within the 7 priority services sector. Over 26 million of us are dependent on the outcome of this symposium. I want to close with the words I find most apropos of the first African-American president of the United States of America. You may wonder why we want to go to America for any quote now because of their current state. But we will not trump, but triumph. President Obama had this to say, and I ask us to embrace this quote. Change will not come if we wait for some other time or the person. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change we need. End of quote. Please, I implore you, no more thought-provoking meetings, because provocation is a sin. The time for action is now. The change will not come, and I'm paraphrasing Obama's words in closing, will not come if we wait for somebody else or some other time. And we know as we look at the American political landscape, if other people are to come, we are definitely the change we need. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Minister, for gracing us with your presence and telling us the importance of action and that the time is now for action. And this action must be practical and real because the services sector is an important sector for the Caribbean region. And as we deliberate, we also have to recognize that our young people are not leaders to the future, but we are expecting them to begin leadership now. And I think those are the general sentiments expressed here this morning by our different speakers in this opening ceremony. I want to thank each and every one of them for their presentations. And I just also want to thank you for your presence and your patience. We will take a very short break, 15 minutes, and we will return to begin our deliberations here. I just want to let you know when we take the break, I invite you to partake of the refreshments that have been served outside in the lobby. So I'll see you back here, participants, in 15 minutes' time. Thank you very much once again.